say I've ever used one of these. Oh, I need this one. Alright, okay. Alright, so you guys watched the video on this, right? Kind of a brief explanation. Okay, so with this, we're looking at the active and passive transports. You're going to be looking at passive as, say you're at a concert, you don't require energy to go with the flow of something. So passive is with the flow of it. So if you have a bunch of stuff over here, you want to go to a place that's less crowded. So you're going to be starting here, going away from everything that's crowded to where there's less people, and where you have less people, you're not requiring energy to go with them. Active, you require energy to go against the flow, so you're going to require energy to go up. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, so in our model, we have oxygen. Oxygen is going from an area of high concentration to low concentration, and that's just simple diffusion. They're going straight through this lipid bilayer, so right here, make sure you guys keep track of that being your lipids. Then you're going to have facilitated diffusion. That's where you need a protein to go through. So it could be something like the carrier protein where you're having amino acids and glucose going through. Now keep in mind your glucose in active and passive is going to be your carbs up here. And the same with the facilitated diffusion, you're going from areas of high concentration to low concentration. Does that require energy? No? Okay, good. Alright, then you have active transport over here. This also is a protein, but with this, you have a lot down here. Everything that's down here is actually going up. No, sorry, they're going down. So they're going against it still. But because they're going to an area of higher concentration, you do need energy to get through that. Does anyone have any questions about that? All right, go ahead and do questions 1 through 8, and then we will talk about them after. All right. Billy, can you read me number 1 and tell me what your group had? Oh, okay. Does one of you guys want to do it then?
Allyson does. Number 1? Alright, so your passive transport is high
Can you
and low.
read the question real quick for me, please? Thank you.
Examine the model above and identify the different transport processes. For each transport process, indicate the different amounts of solutes on each side of the membrane by labeling high solute concentration and low solute concentration on the appropriate side.
Okay. And what'd your group say for that?
Over here on the left, you got passive transport, high to low concentration. On the right, you got active transport, low to high concentration.
Okay, so for the top of the lipid bilayer, for the passive transport, did you say that was low or high?
That is high.
High, okay. So we're going to put high solute concentration up here. And then for the bottom, what'd you say?
Low.
Low. Okay, low solute concentration. And then for active transport, what did you say?
It's low on top and high.
Okay, so do all the groups agree with that?
Agreed.
Does anyone have any questions about why that is? Okay. Alright. Brianna, can you read me number 2 and tell me what your group had, please? Okay, so you said high to low for the first one? Okay. High to low. And then you said low to high, right? Okay. Can you explain how you guys got those answers? What's with the model? Okay. Alright, so on our model, remember you are going for your passive transport. You guys can't see that. For passive transport, you are going high to low, and your active transport, you're going low to high. Everyone good on that one? Okay. Stephanie, can your group read me number 3 and tell me what you guys got, please? Okay, good. Down and then up. And can you explain how you guys got those? Okay, so you're saying that because it went from high to low that you're moving down, and then because you're going low to high that you're moving up? Okay. Alright. Is everyone good on that one? Alright. Okay. Alright, we're going to go through 4 through 8. So, for number 4, Owen's group, can you read the question and tell me what you guys got? Okay. And why do you think that is? Involves glucose. So again, with the concert explanation that Allyson did earlier, when you're moving against something, you need energy to get through that membrane layer. Does that make sense? Okay, number 5, Mackenzie's group. Can you read it and tell me what your group got? Mackenzie K, I'm sorry.
Diffusion is the most random, or is the random movement of molecules until equilibrium is reached. Examine model 1 and answer the following questions.
I'll have you do A through C. You don't have to do the whole thing. So just do A through C for me.
Okay, is diffusion a form of active or passive transfer, like in the answer? Is passive transfer because it's moving from a high to low concentration?
Correct.
What 2 types of diffusion are shown in model 1 or in the model? Simple and facilitated diffusion.
Mm-hmm.
Which processes involve transport directly through the phospholipid membrane?
Sorry, what did you say for C?
Simple diffusion.
Simple, yes. And those are all from the model. They're right below. Okay, and then we'll do Brianna's group. How about D through F? Can you read those and answer, please?
Which process requires diffusion of transport facilitated? Are solids transported by centrifugal pressure when they go to the plasma membrane, which is permeable?
Mm-hmm.
And then are solids transported by facilitated diffusion permeable or impermeable to the plasma membrane, which is impermeable?
Yes. Now for D, what did you say that you put?
Facilitated.
Facilitated, yes, that's correct. Does anyone have any questions on number 5, any of those, A through F? No? Okay. All right, we're gonna move to 6. Stephanie's group, what did you guys circle for these bullets? Can you read it and tell me what you circled? Billy's group. Billy's group. Billy's group. For 6, what did you circle for? Read the question and tell me what you circled.
The rate of diffusion through a membrane is influenced by several factors. The manager should have each member of the team take turns predicting which condition will allow diffusion to occur faster. Circle size of molecules got smaller. For temperature of molecules, we got warmer. For membrane surface area, we got more. And for membrane permeability, we got more. And for steepness and concentration gradient, we get less different.
Less different. Now, why do you think it's less different for the last one?
I would probably say because it's not like a huge change.
Okay, so let's go back to the model. That's a good idea, but let's go back to the model and look. So what the whole idea is with the membrane is they're trying to equal it out. They're trying to make sure that on each side there's not as much difference, which you'll see that in the later questions known as isotonic. You'll get to that as you go through the packet. So they're wanting to even it out. So if it's going to be more different, if you're going to have higher concentration on one side and lower concentration on the other, it's going to be faster because it wants to even it out quickly. Does that make sense? If there's going to be more difference, it's going to be faster diffusion to get to that equilibrium between the layer. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? That's more different. Okay, for 7, can I have James's group? What did you guys, if you want, you can come draw it on the board. For number 7. Didn't get to 7. Did anyone get to 7 that drew something? Or are we kind of confused on 7? Did any groups draw anything?
I did, but
you did?
Yeah.
Do you want to try?
Yes, always.
Yeah, just try. It's okay.
Yes, always. You go, girl.
You can.
Thank you.
Yes, sister. Get it, sister.
That's a good circle.
Thank you.
Oh, that's cool. Greek yogurt.
Yeah, we took one with me, there's Maddie and Jesse, and it was so good. You weren't, you just never showed up. It was after.
Oh, I like that chocolate.
It was after a class.
I don't know. This is not for weeks.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now that you're starting, do you want to explain why you drew this? Your reasoning behind it.
Because those are parts of the cell.
Okay.
Good job.
Thank you for giving your example. I'll draw an example to help you guys understand it more. So this is the sodium potassium pump. This is for nerve cells and muscle cells. So we're gonna go ahead and draw an example of this. So you're gonna have your, I know I'm kind of covering it up for you guys over here, sorry. So we're gonna have, let's say like this is our membrane layer here. So this is gonna be inside and outside, I'm sorry, these are the 2 layers. And you're gonna have your sodium, these are sodium for all you chemistry people. You're gonna have your sodium on the inside, and then you're also gonna have a few potassiums. But you're gonna have more potassium on the outside and less sodium on the outside. So it's the whole thing with the making it equal on the either side of the layers. Since there's more sodium here, but this is active, so it's a little different. We're flowing from less to more. So this takes energy. So you're gonna take the sodium's gonna flow inside the layer. whereas the potassium's going to flow outside of the layer. Now that's confusing because we talked about the concentration gradient flowing from more to less to make it equal. This is different. The active transport is separate. It takes energy because it's maintaining what's inside. So it doesn't really follow those rules. So this is what that question is basically explaining. And this is kind of like a picture example to follow that. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions on that? Everyone can kind of see my picture there. Everyone okay? Ready to move on to 8? Did anyone get to number 8? Or have an idea with 8? Okay. Kylie's group, can you just read the question for me? Yeah.
A cell uses valuable energy to run active transport. Why does the cell need active transport? As a group, write an explanation that includes 2 examples of when active transport is used in the body.
Okay, so I kind of explained it with this example here. Why did I say a cell needs active transport? Why would a cell need to flow from more to less, or less to more, I'm sorry, instead of following the concentration gradient? Why does this need to happen? Does anyone remember? So it can get through the wall, but it's keeping a boundary, it's keeping what needs to be in the cell. So there may not, just because it wants to be, the diffusion wants to be equal on each side, whereas the active transport doesn't. They are trying to keep what's inside. They're just only bringing in what they need. They're trying to keep a certain concentration with that. That's why a cell needs active transport. Does that make sense? So an example of this would be, I know it says 2 examples, but we're just going to focus on one, is the protein pumps. And that is this example right here. For a nerve cell and a muscle cell, that's very important to know. So I would make sure and write that example down. So a muscle and a nerve cell for protein pumps. Does anybody have any questions on 8 or any of the questions from 4 to 8?
Nope.
No? Okay.